All right, back once again after a couple week hiatus. I think this is 2 weeks after Tom, maybe three. But we're back with full force power, steamship, steam engine. Because you see who's beside me right now. It's Jez Millway, and a huge get. I mean, this guy, he has a family, he has a job, 60 hours a week, and so here he is. Jez, welcome to the
Thank
pod.
you, Rich. An absolute pleasure to be here. I did beg you to come on this. It,
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of the easiest get I've ever.
it let's be honest, yeah. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm in a different mindset today though than I normally am because well, first off, this is a Friday rather than a Thursday recording,
Right.
and you know what happens on Fridays?
Yes,
Fridays is our our team tradition
exactly.
game night, and this week 10:35 kickoff. I don't know if it's people are getting sick because the weather's getting a little colder or what, but there's only 8 confirmed. And I thought, why not,
You know.
after a recording, go out and play a game? I mean, it's kind of like double dip with my wife. Just say, hey, I'm
Oh,
gonna be out a little bit later, you know?
do you think I can leave a 5-year-old home alone? Come along. I'll bring my gloves. Oh wow,
I
that's
think there's
amazing. Are you fit enough?
I'm very fit, but where am
I,
I in
you
terms
know
of
what I
my
mean.
cardio? You know, I'm like
Yes.
I always look good, but it's it's all a show, you know? You know the
But
business I'm in. Aesthetics.
exactly. I know your
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
We'll do it. Enjoy it tonight. That sounds fun.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
push it too hard because I know you've only got one gear and no steering.
yeah,
So uh, just
that's
take it
it.
easy, please. L- If anyone's listening to this before the game, they won't be. But
We'll all know afterwards what the result of this first night at back
let's
was.
see.
Yeah, it's hard though, preparing yourself and saying that you're going to go easy because I've done that, in times past and it just never works out
No, not with
as you
you.
planned. No, it's kind of my game. So,
I can
uh,
easily sit back. You're very different.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can already feel my throat burn because that's what's happened the last couple times after I've taken a little bit of a break. Like my cardio, my throat burns. I don't know if it's the
Interesting.
years of mild smoking or what, but
Your cardio's fine. You at your worst is better than most people. I'm just worried about your injury. I mean, I thought you were out for some time.
no, it's a matter of whether it flares up again, then it's going to be a more serious surgery on the horizon, which
Oh,
there's a very good chance that it will, but
hmm.
I don't know until I do it. So that's what's going to happen tonight. And but it's felt actually really good these past couple of weeks. I've like actually like sprinted on it and
Good.
without any pain, and that's something I wasn't able to do for many months. So
You look good in my living room. Good tight corners, turns. I think you're ready. That the
I th-
warm up game on Sunday was good.
I think
Yeah, you're
seeing a
ready.
little video of myself too, I was like, I still got it. I
Of
still
course, you
got
still
it.
got name your position. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you're going to be playing within 12 hours too, right?
No, because I am solo parenting this weekend. I've
Oh, okay.
ducked it. And I tell you what, though, Willis asked me to play in goal tomorrow night for an over 40s, and I fancied it, bringing her along, 8 o'clock kickoff. Then I
Yeah,
went, with, we'll get into all this, I'm sure, but being 5'10, 11s in goal is very different than my throwing myself around at nine aside in that goal. It's
sure.
a
Yeah,
different ball game. 11s in goal's boring. You're just taking goal kicks, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we'll get to that.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm not going to be playing in the morning, sadly.
That's too
So I might
bad.
wake her up and come to the fire pitch tonight and just cheer you on. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
some of those guys though at Haas brought some pretty young kids along, and they seem to manage
Uh,
decent on the park behind, right?
I know, I know. Good. That's
They will never know.
a different culture than mine. But football is life, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
no. How do you adopt that culture?
I don't know. I'm sure we'll get into that too in our 4-hour podcast we've got coming up.
Yeah, it's the thing. We got a time limit now. 10:35 game. I got to be out of here at like 10:10. So
Yeah.
got
All
to put in
right.
a cap. I'm already opening up for episode 2 with you. So
Fine.
this could be the first double header week to week.
Yeah, I'll be free.
I already know our cliffhanger.
Oh, you do? Okay, bring
No,
it.
I don't. I'm not. I can't be a bookie. I'm not like that. Just go with the flow, man. So
Yes,
we
exactly.
can't ignore the inevitable for too long.
Yes.
Drinks.
Yes, drinks.
I'm
Do I
gonna
go
ask you
first? Is
first.
that the way we do it?
I think it's been done both ways up at this point.
Okay.
So there's
I
no
will,
traditions here. There's just
I will go, and this will be no surprise to Rich, but this is a milk stout. This is the Left Hand Milk Stout out of Colorado, a
Colorado.
fantastic brewery. And I've got a sweet tooth, came to America like a big Guinness fan, all the rest of it, all year round. I can't touch IPAs. I can't drink anything light. It has to be a dark beer. And then I get hold of this, and it's, got that sweet taste. It's beautiful. It's my favorite beer in the world, and
Oh wow.
can't get enough of it.
Favorite beer in the world.
It is. It's the
No,
best.
it's really good. My
Yeah.
my brief stint at Lady Gregory's.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know if you remember this, but I opened Lady Gregory's, a very popular destination
I
restaurant
do know you
in
work there. It's one
Andersonville.
of my favorite places in the world, Lady Gregory's. It
Hey,
really
listen,
is.
I opened it. I don't know if
I
it'd
know.
be around if it weren't me. You should have seen the team building I was
Okay,
doing in
Vince
those first
Russo.
weeks.
I opened Lady Gregory. It was all you. You built it. Yeah, I know.
I think they have a stone with my name engraved in there somewhere. But no, I remember that was my introduction to a lot of Midwestern craft beers. Not that that's
Oh,
Midwestern, but it's
they had a huge
available.
book of beers at one point, didn't they? They had and they showed you what was on deck and what was coming. It was amazing, that place.
It
I don't know
was
if they
really
still do that.
my downfall because I was not into beers. I mean, I was into beer as I talked with Frankie about how my dad was a brewer, but
Mm,
my knowledge was little at that
yeah,
time, and you need to know your stuff or at
comes
least
with age.
fake it. Yeah, but nice. Have you been to the brewer or anything, or
I
just
haven't. I've never been to Colorado.
jeez?
I know.
I know
If
Frankie and
it's
Boris
not
would
England
just
or
be.
California, I don't go. So,
Yeah, no. I mean, we can
eh,
talk about that, but limited travel destinations when you're at this age with the
yes,
family, right?
yes, it sucks. I'd love to go, and I know a lot of people every year when it starts getting cold actually move to Colorado from this area. The amount of people I know that have lived in Chicago and moved to Denver or Boulder is just there's 15 people.
Yeah,
But
right. I'd like
yeah,
to get stats about where are the top destinations city-wise for Chicagoans. What
yeah.
age? I want to know all that stuff because I have my
Well,
theories. You hear things, but like, what are the true stats?
yeah, I'd love to know the stats, but a lot of people did leave, and then COVID, a lot of people left as well. We'll see. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know about the brewery. Like, they probably only make that. I mean, that's probably their like flagship. And
Yeah, they mess around with other stuff. It's not as good. And then there's Breckenridge just down the road, the Vanilla Porter.
all right,
That's a
yeah,
beauty as well. They're not far. I've looked on maps. Hey, Meg, look at these breweries. Someday,
yeah.
someday. Well, she's more of a beer drinker than I am, but yeah, we'll have to go
I
someday.
could see Kate with her driver's license doing
I
the
know.
cross country to
Let's do it,
Colorado. Yeah,
please. I'll
I
get some
go.
in the back.
So actually, I wasn't planning on asking this, but someone's been driving recently, huh?
I'm starting ridiculous. Like my driving story is just out of control. Like I don't understand myself. Like back in England, I was driving people everywhere. I was like a cab driver. Like from the age of 17, out of 120 guys in our year at high school, I must have driven 60 of them must have been in my car at one point.
What was the
And then
car?
like it was just a mini metro. Like if you think of the first Bourne movie, Jason Bourne, that little red car, it was that.
Yeah,
It was like a little
okay.
mini metro, tiny little thing. And
Fit
then
five.
yeah, you could fit five strapping young men from in a high school in there. And then you move to London and no one has a car. Then you move to Chicago and you just walk everywhere. And I just never got behind the wheel. But like I've got to do it. It's just out of control now.
Yeah,
Meg
yeah.
does
Meg was talking about it.
98%
That's
of the
like
stuff.
it makes sense when you have to transport your child somewhere.
Absolutely. I've got away
So
with it for so long. I haven't had to do anything.
So
Um,
when Meg said you'd done a 2-hour driving test
yeah,
on Sunday morning, is that with an instructor?
yeah. And I literally, I just have to get in there because if I get in the car with Meg, she'll just shout at me. So like I get in this with this wonderful young Ecuadorian kid, and we're just chatting about soccer the whole time, and I'm already on Lakeshore Drive in 5 seconds without even thinking. You know, like, and
Yeah.
I've already passed my test here. I just turned up and did it. It's just pure laziness, Rich. I don't know
But
what it is.
you do need these instructional hours in car?
I don't.
Oh, you don't.
I
This is
just
just for a little
no, I've
added
got a
tax.
license and everything. I could get in the car right now, but
Ah,
I
okay.
just want to, I want to, I wouldn't just get in our car and go on Lakeshore Drive,
Oh,
you know,
okay. So
right
where'd
away.
you where'd you find this Ecuadorian guy?
No, it's called Nova Driving School, and then
Uh,
they just they're the most well-known driving instruction school in Chicago, and I just picked them.
I've seen
Went
the name.
online and just went, yeah, let's do it.
All right. So how
So
many more hours you got?
Oh,
Gotta go.
I'm gonna see him one more time, and then I'm just gonna risk my 5-year-old in the car with me. Meg doesn't have to know, and then all of a sudden I'll just say, "Surprise! You're not responsible for everything anymore."
Ah, that's
Uh,
great.
I know.
Nice.
It's just a very weird blind spot with me.
No, it
I
makes a
don't
lot of
get it. I don't
makes total
understand
sense.
because
I
of my
understand it entirely.
personality. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't
You
know.
know,
I
control
I
freak.
was.
Blah
I
blah
mean,
blah.
my first 5 years in Chicago were without a car, and it
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
because I couldn't drive. It's just you don't need it, and then
yeah. It's the other side of the
that's
road thing. The fact that my other car was the size of a fist. And
right.
now,
Yeah.
these cars are huge compared to England. Like, it's just all different. I've just got something in my head. So I just wanted to be with someone like to learn again, you
It
know.
makes a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Not
I'm
Meg.
happy for you. I love new chapters.
Yes. Especially at my age.
Your
We
age. Yeah.
haven't
We're gonna
poured your
look
beer
back.
yet. We're already in hour 3.
Well, oh yeah, yeah. That's what's going on. Okay, so mine wasn't a beer initially, but then I was like, I'm kind of hungry for a beer. So what I actually got out was this guy. You've probably seen this, huh?
No. Was ist
Underberg.
das?
It's a digestif,
Ah,
and you're meant to take it in one shot. I
yeah.
did a little research. 1845 origin,
Wow.
43 herbs from 43 different countries.
Jeez.
I don't know, but
Where'd you learn about that?
they have some good marketing actually. So
Yeah.
these you often see them behind bars, usually dive bars, and they are
Right.
strapped to like a belt.
Right.
And I don't know if anyone ever purchases them, but
You.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
Malort like with the herbs.
Cheers.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's the pre-game drink, ladies and gentlemen. That did it.
Oh, geez.
That hit the spot.
And this is this is about an hour after my yerba mate to try to wake me up for conversation and the game. Oh, so much going on in there. I think
Did you, Steve?
I need an excuse if I don't play so well tonight. So there it goes.
I think you'll be fine.
I mean, this was what I was originally going to have
Oh yeah.
before I signed up for tonight. Have you had this?
No, but
Yeah, me
I
neither. You know where I get my beer now is 7-Eleven because they have it and it's the closest shop near me. And
there you go.
sometimes when I'm in there buying this time around condoms, you buy beer and they have a nice selection. So
What do you need condoms for? You got a young child. You're
I
just
don't
too
know. Do other
tired.
people use condoms? I don't know. I really don't know these things. I don't talk
Oh, I
about
just
those.
sleep, Rich.
I don't talk about those things much with
Exactly.
other guys. Well, we use condoms and
Yeah.
they're not cheap.
I
They're
can
like,
imagine.
dude,
Yeah.
they used to give them away at like dorms and everything, and I should have just stockpiled them then.
Those are the days. You know, things have changed. Well, we've had that discussion once or twice. How things have changed.
And
So
I'm all talking about how things have changed for the better.
Yeah, you're doing really good. No, I know.
So on the topic of change, let's talk about when
Yes.
things were better.
Yes.
We're talking England, 1980s.
Oh, wow.
Little Jez, when were you born? 82? 80?
80.
80, damn.
Even 80. Yeah.
Jeez. Are you the oldest podcast so far? You got to be.
No, Frankie's a bit older than me. Because as I always say, we have I think he might be a year above, but we have a group that would have been high school graduates in 1999. Like me, JP, Yusuf, Joe Leslie, and all would have been in that class. And there's one other, and it'll come to me.
You have a chat group this specific?
Yes.
What are you guys
We have
sending?
dinner every Tuesday night.
Like nostalgic memes and stuff like that?
No, I'm a bit of a Peter Pan. I'm obsessed with age and
Sure,
stuff. But
yeah.
I just noticed that Jonah must be in there. He might be.
God, get him in the chat. Man.
Exactly.
Ah. Yeah,
So
no,
there's a lot about that age, class of 80, 81, like births. Because I was the oldest in the school year, September 1980. Yeah.
Huh, okay. Well, yeah. So you are firmly a Gen Xer.
Yeah. I mean, I remember you making fun of me once because I was making fun of millennials, and then I said we've got our own thing called Zennials, right? Because between the age of like 1978 births and 1983 or something, there's a mini micro group of people that had a whole childhood of analog, and then their whole adulthood is digital.
Yeah, right.
So
right,
like I only got a phone when I went to college.
yeah,
And
sure.
like before that, it was all the wind phone at home. No one had the internet. Everyone you knew was in your hometown. Oh, I'll see you 8 o'clock Thursday, and you were there. And then all of a sudden, you become an adult, and it's all changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's literally like a group of people that saw both sides of the law. It's crazy.
And that's why you guys are handling it so poorly, is because you weren't able to assimilate with that flexibility.
But I tell the time from where the sun is in the sky, Richard, and everyone else is looking at their phones. That's the difference.
Yeah, no, I know what you're like. I know your generation because you're squeezed right between my sister and my brother, and that helps.
Yes.
That helps a lot having siblings that are older, because I recognize that I'm a hell of a lot cooler than my brother and sister. Just for the technologies that I feel confident with. No, but one thing that specifically is like we had MSN, Hotmail, chat, whatever it was. That was
MSN was great.
My junior, senior year. I was like flirting, and there's all sorts of drama going on behind the scenes.
Yes,
this stuff never would have been possible if it wasn't
exactly
for the internet, and those were formative years. And what's crazy to me is like how quickly as a kid you just embrace it without ever thinking that it is new. It's just so, I see that with the kids now.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Richie has gone up to the TV and tried to swipe it. I'm positive Richie would have done that at one point.
No, he's so Montessori. It's like he's getting a stick and he's hitting it with the TV.
I love it.
Every time he goes for the phone, it's just a little breakdown because he never gets the phone. But no, it's not that bad. He FaceTimes with my parents and stuff a lot, so
cute.
He likes that. And then we watch videos of him or his cousins when in a time of need, cutting fingernails, things like that. So it's a nice little weapon to have in our back pocket.
How old is he now?
First haircut. A year and a half, 17 months.
Right. He'll only get easier.
No, sorry, 19 months. Yeah, that's what Anna was saying. It's getting easier and easier. But
yeah. It's just the first year you've got to survive.
Yeah, certainly.
And then it gets easier. But then it's longevity then. It's just the fact it doesn't switch off.
Yeah. And that's
there's no off switch.
That's it.
Yeah, it's just, this is it.
Because what it is recently is like I've had long nights, and it's like these long nights used to be every single night, but now I have one and I feel upset about it. And I'm just like, I used to do this every day. What am I talking about? Come on, like dig in.
Human nature. Yeah, it's very strange how the smallest thing gets you upset.
Yeah.
Like it's 5 years old, she just has to say, "Daddy," at the wrong time. Just be quiet. Whereas, like you say, 5 years ago, you were just every move they made. It's just,
5 years ago, I didn't have a child, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yes, I know.
So do you ever think about this is a heavy question, but
it's
do you ever
me.
think about CTE as somebody in the defensive line as a keeper? Like, do you ever think about that stuff in terms of your moods and potential for depression? And I think about it. I used to think about it quite a bit. I'm a little bit
Go on,
maybe,
explain. Go on.
just because like repeated head trauma and everything. And there's definitely been a few occasions where I've had concussions and
Really?
yeah. Have you never had a concussion? I mean, come on.
No. Being in goal half the time since I was that kid in 80s, and then being in defense, and I've never had that. I've always been like, say you and I were centre backs together, right?
Yeah.
You're the guy that goes and attacks the ball. I sweep
Yeah.
up behind and sprint around.
Yeah.
Clearly, that's our relationship.
You're
Like,
right.
so yeah, you go and get brain trauma. I will just stay here, wave at the crowd, and then look a hero with a slide tackle if someone goes through. That's our relationship.
Right. I used to be that guy in high school,
I
but
know. I
then we
heard like
recognized,
sweeper. Yeah.
yeah, he was a proper sweeper. I mean, I
Oh.
didn't care about offsides one bit. I was like a windshield wiper on that back line.
That's a
But
trust thing. I was thinking about when I heard you on that podcast say that. I've got big trust issues. So I have to be the last person back. And then I get to the point where I go, I'm a goalie again because I don't even trust them. So like, it's been constant. Like, and then I go in goal and I look at the defenders, they make a mistake, go, right, I'm playing in defense again for 5 years. It just goes, it's a trust thing.
It's true though. Nobody could be trusted.
Yeah.
I had a sit down with a student just 2 days ago. He wrote on his artwork because he's doing this doodle project, and he wrote, "No, you can't trust nobody." And I had to bring him over, and I said, man, like your artwork's fine, but like this whole "you can't trust nobody" thing, like I want to talk about that. And we talked about how if people can't trust you, then you're going to believe that you can't trust anybody. And also, like when you're a kid, you don't have the ability to choose who you're around. So maybe there are people you can't trust, which is terrible as a kid. But when you get older, you kind of get to choose who you're surrounded by, and then you can start to pick people you trust. So I feel like there's two like dichotomies in this world. There's people who trust each other, and they're all friends with each other. And then there's all these people who just don't trust each other, and they're all friends with each other by a result of their distrust.
And that's a neat way. We're going all out of order and whatever. Who cares about my history? But that's why that first winning 11 team was the best team I've ever played on, because that was a team I trusted, every single person. Whereas I'd always played on garbage teams. It was, Jez, bring your gloves. We need somebody. Jez, can you play in defense for this team? They're in real trouble. They haven't won all year. I've never played on a good team. I think I've lost 4 times more than I've ever won in any continent I've played in. And then you guys come along and it's like, whoa, this is easy.
Yeah.
And the trust thing.
Isn't that fascinating? Like you could go your whole life and never play on a proper team that you feel like
didn't. They were rubbish.
Yeah. No, I mean I think about that with professional soccer, of course. It's like these guys could go through their whole career and play for managers that don't fit their style, play with teammates that they don't bond with, and just have a completely different experience to somebody who finds their home and is beloved by everyone, who trusts everyone in the locker room. It's like,
could you imagine that? Just showing up. We get paid, but just terrible experience every week. That is funny.
Is that not what Chelsea is at the moment? That's what I feel.
Chelsea. It's my one, again, this is another subject, but the way I learn.
The description of this podcast is going to be an
essay. It's just hilarious when you see English people on these WhatsApp groups talk about football, and then say someone from Ecuador, and the way they talk about this player is incredible. They're going to be the best in the world. The English people are talking about institutions. Chelsea is shit, and usually they're saying their own team is bad. 9 times out of 10, they're saying, I hate this club. They're rotten from top to bottom. Whereas someone from Colombia or whatever never talk about ownership, managers, the stadium, the fans. They talk about players and technique.
Right.
We're just rooted in that 1820s, whenever football was created in England, was created out of rich people getting factory workers to go and watch a game to keep them happy. So they showed up to work Monday. That's inherent in our nature. It's just funny, like in the over 40s WhatsApp group, there's a Luton Town fan. And he came on and went, just complete shit. You saw it, right?
Well, I saw the lead up when he was sharing all the stuff about Luton. Yeah.
I just started laughing because that's the way, like, it could be me, Joe Leslie, anybody. It's the way we talk about it compared to.
Well, okay. One thing I want to touch upon is, as a Tottenham fan, it's like, you know, you've been with them through many disappointing seasons, and it's like, but you're stuck with them in a way that I feel like a lot of American fans cannot really associate with. I guess if you're like a Bears fan, if you're from Chicago, it's kind of like that's you know, that's the card you've been cast.
Yes.
But we're very petty. We're very fickle with our fandom, I feel.
Right. Yeah, but no, I don't think with NFL teams and stuff. When you're from the place, soccer's brand new, really. You can pick who you want.
Maybe I'm just fickle.
You are, because you're a bit of a mutt from California. You know, you could pick what you like. But okay, because all the other guests did such a good job about where they came from, right? So let's paint a picture.
Let's get back to it.
Let's get back to it.
In my notes, I had the words "paint the picture." I had that phrase.
Terrible guest. I know you.
I want you to paint
all
this
over
picture.
The place. And you even said, "Who knows about Jez's mind?" in one of the other podcasts with Tom. You said, "Who knows what he's thinking?" Quite right. Like, I'm from the southeast of England, right? So if anyone's watched the movie Dunkirk, all the boats came from my hometown to France to save soldiers. I'm from the furthest point in England you can get, 26 miles to France on a boat. So down there, there's no teams. There's no Premier League teams. Your nearest big city is London, 80 miles away. So everyone picked a London team or Manchester United. So, like, everyone from my school was Man U, Arsenal, or Tottenham, really. So, Tottenham have always been a club with one star player. Klinsmann, you know, Gascoigne before that. Then it's, you know, now it's Kane and now it's Son. You know, like, you've always got one who you hang your hat on. So it's actually good in that respect. You've always got someone to believe in. But there's just an inherent, never won a trophy, like, just bad. My dad is from Manchester. My dad is from Manchester, is a Manchester United fan who in my lifetime has seen 40 trophies. And I could have just picked it up because, my dad's from Manchester. Just one of many mistakes, Richard.
Okay, so what age did you declare? What age did you get you got a tattoo or a brand? What is it?
An uncle came over with a mug with Tottenham on it. And again, linked. My dad worked away a lot. Funny your dad worked in breweries. My dad worked in nightclubs his whole life. Was always working away. So that's why I love my dancing. I don't understand the singing shit that you guys do down at, you know, I don't do karaoke. I'm a dancer, not a singer. But like, my dad worked in nightclubs his whole life, so he's always away. So like, I didn't have that relationship with him. You know, like, it wasn't close. I only got into I first kicked a football properly when I was 9 or 10. You know, and I was in the playground. Going goal. You know the rest.
Yeah.
You know, like, I was at a very small school, so there was 11 boys, and so all 11 got in the team. You know, kind of thing. So like, I got into football very late.
So when was that Tottenham mug in your view?
1990. So I was 10 years old. Like,
okay. All right.
You know, and we won the FA Cup the year afterwards. Paul Gascoigne scored a free kick. I'm thinking, this is great. Great team. Because in 1990, we'd had a history of, we won the UEFA Cup in 84, won lots of FA Cups in the 80s, and then it just goes to pot because I became a fan.
refresh my memory. Who was the star player prior to Kane?
All right, don't be funny. A certain person called Gareth Bale, you may have heard of, and Luka Modric.
Oh shit. Okay.
Exactly.
Modric,
It's
Bale. There
always
was
there's bang,
intersection
bang,
there.
bang.
All
You
right.
hang your hat
No,
on someone
I
every
was.
single time.
It was an honest question to refresh my memory.
I know it.
I'd forgotten.
Rich, I had to think too.
Yeah, there
Trust
was.
me.
I think there was maybe a little bit of a gap between them and Kane. No.
Yeah, just a season or two. It wasn't long
Yeah.
because someone comes along and then 5 Champions Leagues later for Gareth and Luka Modric. I mean, just
Jeez.
5 Champions Leagues each.
Did they have a second place? I know they had the second place behind Leicester, but did they have a second place when they had Modric and Bale?
No. We finished it's when we finished regular top 4 before Man City really got their money because we had Van der Vaart, we had like King and Woodgate in defense. We had a great team. We had a really good team.
Yeah.
But we just weren't good enough. There's always a better team. That's the thing with Tottenham. It was Chelsea at the time, invincible. Or Arsenal.
The Leicester year was, I mean,
even then they have to pull the ripcord. Like Tottenham cannot win anything, so we're going to make Leicester the best team in the country. So
what's the town name where you're from?
It's a town called Margate, Margate. It's near the White Cliffs of Dover. And
what destiny with the Margate Park meetups.
Exactly.
Jeez.
Exactly. I know.
Right at home.
I took many a photo of that, of the sign.
Yeah, right.
Sent it home.
So a lot of good field trips to Dunkirk related.
I did. Used to go over there on the ferry all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be really present in your being.
It is. We learned French from an early age, you know, as opposed to Spanish here. It was always French, and based in the southeast of England. Used to always go over there because it was so close. It was closer than London.
So family trips to France?
For the day, for the weekend, yeah.
Ah, that's cool.
And that's why we get good weather. Like you think of Game of Thrones. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
No.
Okay. No. Doesn't matter. So like it's basically the same as America. Like the further you go north, obviously it's colder. So like where Joe's from, for instance, freezing cold up there. But we had this French gorgeous weather. I only saw snow twice growing up, just to give people an impression. Like it's hot, it's nice.
And your
better down south.
Your reputation in the country is one of like sophisticates and things like that because you're
That's right.
The French rub.
Yeah, a bit of that.
All right.
All the money's down south.
Okay,
my friend. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about. I'm sure like Kenny as an Anglophile could tell you
he'll
different regions,
tell you more than I do. Yeah.
You know, with Germany, it's like I get the stereotypes with different regions, but
yeah.
I've never bothered with England.
Why would you? I mean, German. We'll leave that there.
So so no footballing aspirations as a kid then coming into the game so late.
No, so late. Troubleshooting. Oh, you're in goal. We lost every single game. And this is 1991 in England where there's no turf, there's no 9-a-side pitches, 7-a-side pitches. We were playing on massive fields, and I'm 5 foot tall in a goal that's built for a proper 11-a-side, to the point where I was almost in tears one game because it was just 11 or 12-0, and I can't do anything. But it toughens you up like nothing ever. Like there's absolutely nothing that will shake me in a game or anything, because if you're in goal for the worst team in your town, and it's a tough town, there's some really tough teams there, like that went on to play. Some players went on to play a decent level. You just fine, and you're in goal, and it was the first year you've ever played. No problem.
So were you with the same club for multiple years?
It was just a school. It was our school. It was just so small. Our school was small compared to all the other ones. It was a private school, which means you pay, as opposed to like the free schools, which had, you know, better kids, better quality players. So we were just getting a hiding.
All boys school?
No, not this one. Then from 11 to 18, all boys school, but it was a rugby school. So I played rugby until I was 18, but I played for a club in defense. I couldn't go in goal again. I went, I'm not having this. I'm not waiting for 3 people bearing down on me. So I became a defender from the age of 11 to 18.
I didn't know there was an official goalie in rugby.
No, I'm just.
It's the last man.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. Like, I played for a club.
Yeah.
From 13 to 16, soccer, but I played rugby through the school throughout. Another thing that toughens you up. Like,
I'm sure.
I think only Freddie at Sens ever knocked me over.
Yeah.
In 10 years, 13 years in Chicago. Like he's a big unit. I remember that.
You're setting goals for me right now.
Yeah.
In my comeback.
Dude, knock me out.
Knock Jez over.
Bring it. No,
so
it's good.
Did you ever miss rugby?
I did go and watch in Lincoln Park. There's a load of Irish that play. There's a team of Irish lads that play, and I went about 8-9 years ago to go and watch them, and I went, no, thank you. No, the game's changed. I went to college and played rugby, and that difference between high school and college is just immense. I didn't get any bigger after I was 15 years old, but you get to college, there's people the size of trees, and I got hit once, and that was it. I was in bed for a week because they hit me so hard. I went, oh man, no, I can't play rugby at this level. But just remember, ladies and gentlemen on the podcast, this college sports in England is completely different to in America. Like, there's no system. I played in front of 2 people and a dog. Like, if you're good at rugby or soccer in England, you get picked up at 7 years old.
Yeah.
So like, it isn't. If you're playing college rugby or soccer, you're shit, basically.
Yeah. So it's rough. It's like
yeah, it's just people doing it, and it's it's rough.
Right.
And there's not much talent, but a lot of aggression. Right. So like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think about like all of the energy output and stuff of men specifically, but maybe women too. Like when you're just older and you need an outlet, and how few people actually do play sports, and how sports is such a great release. I mean, you see it on Friday nights. It's like these guys are bringing their work weeks to the pitch.
That's why a Lincoln Park rugby team full of Irish, I went, absolutely not, because they were just looking to kill themselves.
All right,
why? Let alone the fire pitch. I mean,
all right, here we go. This is a question I wanted to ask about. Culture shock, cross culture, or reverse culture shock, all this stuff, because I'm thinking about these Irish guys with some built-up culture shock aggression. I Wikipedia'd culture shock and cross culture shock, and there's some really interesting research and that I'd never really considered. I'd made theories in my own mind, but there's actual, there's actual philosophers on this subject. So, at what age did you consider the move to the States?
Well, it was forced on us, really. I met Meg in 2006 in Germany on training with our company. Then we did 3.5 years long distance. I was flying. My first time I landed in Chicago was 2007. And then we did 3 years long distance. And then Meg couldn't get to England. It's stupidly difficult for Americans to get to England and live, and the other way around. And it shouldn't be. Considering how close we are, it's just ridiculous. And so I came here, basically. I got a job with Bank of America in England, and then moved in 2010 because it was the finance crisis then. So there's no jobs anywhere. So the only way you could do it is to get a job in England, then transfer. And if you talk about culture shock, there wasn't any. If you told me I had to move to France or Italy or Germany or anywhere in Europe, it would be harder than moving to America. Because watch Friends and eat pizza. What do you think I was doing in England? Like, everyone was doing that. Like, it's easy to move to America. Like, it's the same. And it's getting more similar all the time. I couldn't move to anywhere else in Europe and have an easier ride as this.
Interesting. What about, there's no insights when you go back home? Like, things work a little bit different.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just feel like, in my experience, when I moved back from Vietnam back to the U.S., it was like that was the thing that really shook me. It was like readjusting to life in the U.S. after I'd become so comfortable elsewhere. And
Yeah.
but I guess you're
No,
right. I mean, maybe it's just the
it's
culture's
not the
just so similar
same.
there. You know, it's not.
Vietnam. It's the same country.
I'm
One
dude.
thing that's different when you're in London, and again, let's go back to what I ended up doing. After being in defense until I was 18, I went back to being in goal and playing in corporate leagues in London, where I ended up like playing in goal. And that was a lot of reasons why I got promoted in jobs, is that I'd end up
Yeah.
playing for, say, Accenture, the company that Meg still works for, like where we met. I'll play in goal. And you'll be amazed how many middle managers go, "Oh, this guy, he'll play in goal for us," and you start getting looked upon. I was using it as a tool to get
Wow.
promotion. Yeah, because no one wants to do it, as we find out every year, every Saturday morning, every week, even now. Everyone hates playing in goal, and
Yeah.
and that's and that's how I ended up. And you end up in England. Everyone's very defensive. You play with the same load of white boys every week, just corporate. London players, a little bit of aggression, but everyone's being nice to each other because they play for the same company. I come to America and I meet all of you guys, and everything changes. Like everyone is like, I'm telling people back home, wow, I'm playing with people from Africa. I'm playing, like
Right.
it's nuts
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'd never played with anyone apart from English people.
Yeah,
You know?
the expat team I played with in
Yes.
Vietnam,
Yeah.
it was mostly English people, so I felt like I had a good introduction to English culture, and a
Yeah.
lot of guys. It was like it was fun. I think more so like the English approach to the team mentality and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
don't know. We had like heavy drinking afterwards. It was more of like that.
Again, the collective again, like I was saying up front, it's like this is us. It's not individuals.
Yeah.
It's like this is what we stand for. And I think I overheard you talking to someone about the team you were on, and like they got you a little trophy at the end and everything.
Yeah, but those guys were yeah, it was like a great team bonding, and they
Yes,
definitely highlighted the social aspect of it. Prior,
that's
no one
huge.
was ever on their best form, but it's like you also held each other accountable for like going to trainings on Wednesdays and everything, and it was a good, like great experience though. But
Exactly. Yeah.
um, yeah, so never mind that whole question about culture shock and everything. Throw it out the door.
No,
Let's
I'll
move
throw out
on.
the door because there wasn't one.
But
You
did you?
miss home, but you feel at the same point. I feel like I am home,
Right.
which is weird. I know.
Well, I feel like that's a common thread for a lot of us is like
Yes. Yeah.
we're outsiders, right?
Yeah.
But maybe some of us to lesser degrees. Like we all came here at different ages to Chicago,
Yeah.
and I think that's definitely a bonding factor. Whereas like I can't imagine just if I was on a group of you know guys I grew up with playing in my late 30s. It's
Yeah. I'm jealous. One of my best friends back in England is still with a team with his friends. He's been on the same team since he was 18. So it's like 20, 25 years. And that makes me jealous in a way. Like that would be nice. But at the same token, yeah, the same
well
thing
the
every
idea that
year, every
yeah,
season,
yeah,
you
and
know?
the idea that like all of us are soccer is our commonality in the end,
Yes.
and that's where the diversity comes in. But
Mm.
um, man, I'm starting to get nervous. The time is just dwindling down. I'm thinking about how many
Yeah, what are you
sips of
thinking
beer I've
about?
had.
Who's
I
playing
don't know.
tonight?
I got a little foggy there for a second. I was like,
It's because you're comfortable. You're amongst friends. So who's playing?
I need to
Who's
be
in the eight
sharp. I
tonight?
need to be sharp. I don't even know who's confirmed. Bishop made a joke about coming in his PJs, so I'm pretty sure he's there. Kenny, I want to say Kenny's in.
Well,
I
do you know
don't
what
know.
frightened me is that
Yeah,
when Yusuf said about his injury, I thought Kenny better stay fit because it would be the first season that none of the committee were there.
yeah.
So I'm delighted you're back, and even Rafa's sniffing around and Pandy playing again because I'd be scared that if no representation,
Well, then you'd have to come back, I
I'd
guess,
have to
and you'd
come
have
back
to scrap
exactly,
Saturdays, and you have to because
and I will.
how can we lead with our noble decision making without representation on the pitch.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and I hope everyone knows who's listening that we operate with magnanimity. What is that? What's that word? Magnanimously.
We're magnanimous because that's the way to get around it. Because I don't know what the
super magnanimous though.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we think about every individual.
Yes.
We're utilitarians, but we're also
especially with emails, Richard. Yes.
Yes, yeah. And we care about everyone.
Yes,
we really do. It's no self-interest here at all. I'd give up my spot for somebody who is hungry any day.
I know you would. But
so
tonight's your jam, though. It's the kind of thing. But
one thing, wait for your opportunity to take it.
Exactly. But one thing I never brought up was why I don't play. Why I don't play on the Fridays. Why I don't play with the team anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I what's it been? 7 years? 6 years?
It has. I've made guest appearances every now and then. One famous time, I love this, when we're on our deepest, darkest run, which just ended in the last few months of no trophies in I don't know how long. I show up, I play goal, we're in a final, and I saved 3 penalties, but we managed to miss 4 out of the 5. And I just can't believe it. And I had to go to the doctor's next day. I cracked a rib.
Jeez.
I just couldn't believe the luck we were in. But it goes back before that, Rich, because I've got to say this, because people must wonder, why doesn't he show up? Why didn't he play? I don't know. We had that great team up front. And then, we were an 11-side team. We had all these great forwards, and they just kind of just all disbanded all at once. And those next 2 seasons was just a case of us drawing 0-0, getting to penalties and praying. And I was just getting so frustrated because you'd see Sydney on the other field. And and he used to play with us. And then Rich is the refs. It's the fact that I'm playing 23 minutes a half and I'm rotating in and out. It was just a lot was annoying me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't enjoying it. I'll be honest with you, I just wasn't enjoying it. People on our team were getting angry. And I was trying to make people understand we're not going to win. We're not going to win. I'm sorry, we're not going to win. And we didn't. We didn't have the quality that's come back in. Now, it looks like we're on a good run now. We've got a good collective.
We're not quite in the elite leagues we were.
Don't say I know we were still playing elite and just fighting for our lives every
week. No, there were some very tough seasons. I remember one specifically when we kind of moved from the Lane Tech field to the current pitch, the current CFR pitch. And it was I just remember getting slaughtered.
Yes.
It was
I remember
bad.
marking a guy who looked like Pogba but was actually a good player, unlike Pogba. He was just a very quick 6'5". I'm like, oh Jesus. This is out, because I think every year the kids out of college in America get better and better, and the game gets better in the States. If you think back to 2010 at Sen, people could hardly kick a ball. You remember. Now, I mean, it's the quality. All these kids.
Yeah, I see it even the level I coach at. It's this is I would not have seen this when I first started. So no, I mean, I think I've had many conversations with you privately where it's I do get frustrated, especially because I'm this guy who, half goes out for a good workout, and when you're being subbed and you're playing 23-minute halves, it just gets very frustrating very quick. And on top of that, when there's bullshit about refs or arguments, it just gets, you start to look at yourself do I need a change? So certainly I support you, and I think you have the support of everyone, and everyone has their own approach to the game. So
but shame on me though, I never stuck with it, which is something. There's so much respect for everyone on the team, all of you guys. Every week you're there, and I walked away. That's the thing. At least everyone kept at it. What would there this time with a trophy in his hand? He did it every single season. and organizing.
Yeah, stepping up to organize is huge. That is
It is
not an
huge.
easy task. And
Did that for years in England. I'd never do it.
thankless job for sure.
Yes.
As much as people thank you, it's thankless.
It's thankless. Yeah, I just thought defense as well was one area where we had so much talent that, and then, Mike Kuchek was coming in at the time, just like, what? You got Stefano, you got Pandy, you got, there's just endless defenders, and then.
Yeah, kind of Ryan, Joe, obviously Kuba.
Kuba left, Sydney left.
Sydney,
left 4 in one season.
It was big.
Yeah.
No, those were guys I could never replicate the things that they do on the pitch.
Exactly. So, yeah.
As much as you try and convince yourself that you can play the number 9, you just can't do it. I remember the one time my best game ever was I'd been training in wrestling. I hadn't played in 4 months. I came in just like bigger, like 215 and doing so much cardio, running the ropes. I
was there for one of these.
I felt like it was cheat mode.
You were Superman for a while. It was kind of weird because it did feel like you were in a cheat mode. You're just watching you just run around. You just didn't stop running, just push people over and just score.
We used to. Well, wrestling school, you know what we used to do? We used to just run the ropes, and it would time you, and he would just run the ropes and all back and forth. And I could do that longer than anyone. And it's just like 4 minutes of running back and forth, like sprinting.
I can't.
I had so much fun though. That's one thing.
I bet.
Yeah, you gotta learn how to run the ropes. But
you'll be back.
So what would it take for us to get you back though?
You've got better players. Have
you seen Ryan? I mean, Ryan's like deceptive these days. He still scores the goals, even though he looks a little bit,
Again, Ryan is a forward. You'd have invited him back if he was in a wheelchair. Ryan quit, and we did. Is Ryan? Everyone was asking, Jez, is Ryan back? Is he fit? Is he? That tells you everything. No one's saying, Jez, are you fit? Because we've got 28 defenders. Giorgio, there's millions of them that lined up. There was games, Rich, you've been there, where we played a back 7. Like you in those 11s games.
Yeah.
You know it. Like
it's just Rafa floating freely up there alone.
3 seasons Rafa island. Looked around. Just who we're going to pass to.
Yeah, and then we've had JP, we've had G-Day stand in, but nothing consistent enough. We need a different type of player at times.
We needed Ryan. Yeah.
But
he's back now.
He's back. I don't know if he's going to be there tonight. I think he might. I think there might have been an in. I don't know.
Who's in goal for you now?
I don't even know who's playing goal. Oh, Mike, one of the Ridgewood guys. I think he's there this season. He was last season.
Okay, good.
Great guy. But no, he's good. He's a good keeper. So.
Good. I mean, what happened? I mean, not the trophy just gone, but the one before. Like, didn't Joe show up in goal? And Cuba showed up. Oh, we won a trophy. Who'd have thought it? Like, I mean,
did Cuba contribute to that?
Good keeper, and Cuba was there, wasn't he?
I can't remember. How many games he played.
He was. It doesn't matter.
I only
get Cuba in the mix.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about that. Cuba has a personality that lightens people.
Yes.
People play with more not enthusiasm, just levity,
Oh, he was amazing.
Yeah.
Great player.
Yeah. And I think if you're compiling a team of just personalities, somebody who maybe can't speak that much English, so you're never going to get too deep in conversation with them where you're going to have conflict. It's just, you need someone like that.
You do.
Just a hug and a smile is really all team bonding you need.
Everyone hug Rich at the next game. If you could still walk after tonight, you behave yourself.
Yeah, I believe in that physical contact though. I heard like a podcast about the LA Lakers slapping each other's butts and. Like
what era Lakers? What era?
That was Kobe, right, Shaq Lakers. They really got onto each other's behinds. And
Eventually, it took them 3 or 4 years, but once they got it going, they were just unstoppable.
Yeah.
That could be us. That could be us now.
Who's behind you slap first, though, to make it like to test the waters? I guess like Frankie's butt. I'm going to slap Frankie's butt.
Frankie. 100% Frankie. Yeah.
Good with it.
He looks after himself.
Yeah. Firm butt. But
yeah, we shouldn't discount his forward play.
No. See, that's the thing. I think we have a lot of incredible.
He's a forward.
Forwards.
He's not a striker.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a difference. He's a forward.
But he can score.
Pace. Yeah, he can score. There's different types of players.
I mean, maybe it's just like Ryan's a bit elite, Kuba's a bit elite, Joe's a bit elite.
Well, Joe's a freak because like he's the only English person I ever know that was a striker.
Yeah.
Like just everyone out of my country is like defensive mid or a defender. Like never seen a player like who is Harry Kane. Like it's really strange. Like we're all defenders. So, yeah, he's elite.
Man, we're just throwing everyone under the bus though. Where's our midfield? Our defense isn't all that's cracked up to be,
Midfield's fantastic. It's been the same midfield for 20 years.
I'm just kidding.
Tear Bear.
So I just want to tear it all apart. So
Marv, the best.
Everyone's upset.
Tom, I love you, by the way. There we are, because I know he'll get upset if I don't say his name.
So
I'd be controversial?
I think we've already been controversial
enough. Fair enough. No, it's good, though. It's a good one. It's not a bad one.
I'm just kidding.
It's a good controversial. I was just going to say, when do the committee, what year, 2029, when do the committee hand it over to the Kucheks? When do we hand it over?
Well, I mean, it's this natural progression to over 40s. And then it's like, are we just an over 40s team, or do we still have 30s aspirations? And
yes.
I'm not sure when that conversation comes.
Okay. They've got 10 more years work to do. Okay.
And are we, passing on the winning 11 name to a younger franchise?
At a fee, if they pay us. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I put some hours in on Photoshop for this logo, It's already been cut up by our guy Jose or Luis, not Jose, Luis. We just need to go there and say, I want that winning 11 logo. And they're like, he's got it.
Yes. I love it.
He actually had a conversation with me about, because I had him do my school's, like we did these track jackets.
Right.
And he needed a few modifications on the logo I made because, he like the original one, he has to hand cut them. Yeah. And he was talking about how this logo, he like spent a long time cutting all of the details. And I never knew that
it was next week. Get him in.
He's a good guy. He's got all his own stuff going on with like a youth team and a men's team, I think.
I'm sure. That's good.
Actually, I think there were some Yelp reviews that I read where there were some unhappy people, specifically like talking about his system, his soccer system rather than his shop.
Wait, what? Someone went on Yelp and said, look, he shouldn't play 4-5-1.
No, not so specific, but it was like, I don't remember. I'm not going to say anything, but there were like some 1-star reviews totally unrelated to his shop. And it was more
that is amazing.
His team. Yeah. That's
amazing.
Right.
Poor guy.
A lot going on in this Chicago.
There is. It's a great microclimate.
Yeah.
Soccer.
No, I feel like there was a time where, playing three days a week where it's like you have this really really good general idea of everything that's going on in the city, like even to the point where like you're recognizing all these players from different teams, but I'm beyond that now.
It's funny because I've just clicked, like we played at Humboldt as well on another good team.
That was a really good team.
That was fun. That was good fun as well. Like
those were the teams where, there's such quality where like as a substitute, you feel that pressure of like, well, I need to live up to this person asking me to play, to pitch in. So I remember having like, you go to the pitch and like you feel those nerves,
That's
and like
right.
you really need to get into it. So,
I do miss that. I know I've got my cozy Saturday morning
but
thing
I
going
felt
on.
I felt it like that when I started playing with you guys on Saturdays, because
Yeah.
it was that sort of thing where you're a guest,
Yeah.
you want
They
to
miss you.
establish your reputation, and I don't know, sometimes you need that refresher because you do get comfortable.
Yeah. It's good for you, though, because it was a good run out, which it is. 2 hours. No refs. No
No,
pressure.
it's so beautiful.
Kidding. Trying to
I've said
sell
it
it.
before, but Saturday morning soccer is my sweet spot. So anything to bring me back to that. So all right, here's a question. We're going to go back to your relationship to the game.
Mm,
When you are watching a match, whether it's Tottenham or else, like what do you think the lens is that you have on? What are you keying in on? Is it players? Is it formations? Is it mood? Is it narratives? Like, do the commentators have a big impact
yeah.
on your experience?
Well, if it's not Tottenham, I'm watching the defense. I'm just watching the defense, and there's been times where, like, if you watch a really good defense, it's like the ballet. They can really put strikers in their pocket. Like, I mean, Pandy will appreciate this. Like, back in those Italian teams in the '90s and stuff, and they just made it look so easy. And like Batistuta looked like a hero for getting 10 goals in a season. Like
Yeah,
it was just. I'm always watching defenders and looking at it from a defensive mindset.
interesting.
Yeah, that I know it's not very romantic, but
No, I
that's how it
mean,
is. Like if they get it right. I remember one time King and Woodgate against Drogba. We played Chelsea, and I've never seen anything like it. Drogba had to go off after 65 minutes. They totally bullied him, and like just the way they worked in tandem. You hit him first. One stooped under the header. One goes over the top, and Drogba sandwiched in the middle. It was just a work of art the way they destroyed him. Someone of that quality.
right.
It's just if they get it right, you have to work more as a system in the defense. Whereas up front, it's more flair and dynamism and everything I don't know about. Like you said
Yeah,
about it's alien. You probably get the same feeling. If you were told to play up front, you're completely lost and
yeah,
you're getting the ball and you're facing the wrong way. And you go,
exactly.
I don't understand what I'm doing. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
weird because I know I've heard on this podcast like you're really at odds with what you want to be and what you are, and you even term defending as something not bad, but you looked, oh, I'm having to play in defense.
Right, right.
And remember
Yeah,
when I
it's
first met you, you were indoors. You were a wing. You were like a slight. You were a lot thinner than you are now. You were like on the wing, like you know, forward,
yeah,
a
yeah,
Frank,
no.
as it were. You were a Frankie.
Yeah, I
So
remember I used to do just high press because I was tireless. And I remember my first couple of outings at Margate, I was like
yeah,
just
I remember.
eating up the back. But yeah, it's so interesting. You'll watch the defense. I
Yeah, I
mean,
watched the defense.
yeah, I mean that's something that with that early winning 11 team, who was it back there? What was the starting lineup? You, me, who was on the sides?
Doc,
Doc,
you, me,
and
and Yusuf, and then
we
I don't
played
know
a
if Jonah
three.
was in
Oh,
that
because
first
we
season.
played the 3-5-2, right?
Yeah, was
Oh yeah.
was it Jonah and Kuba? I mean, was it
Right.
Marv
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Kuba on the left
Jonah
and
did
right?
play. Yeah, probably both of them. Yeah.
Yes,
And
they
then
might have been that
in
rotation.
front of us would have been Pondy and Terry. Is that right?
Pandy Terry Kenny.
Yeah,
Yeah, on a
yeah.
rotation there, and then pick your forwards. Like,
Totally forgot that we played the 3-5-2
yeah,
all the time. Yeah, but
and
you're
that
right.
was a great first season, and then it was tough. Stefano was rotating with you, me, and Yusuf. I think that was it.
Yep,
It was the
that's
four
right.
of
That's
us.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Then it got tough.
Yeah, and we used to do because I was the one who was organizing at the time, and I remember now that you'd have like the sub for each line, and
That's
like
right. Yeah,
so yeah, we'd have two subs for the five, and then one sub for the up top, and then one sub for the
it
defensive line,
worked
I think.
because our
Yeah.
left and right had so much energy. Like run for eternity. We would just have to do the defending, and then yeah,
And this whole thing with the CFRS, it was so novel. It was like, wow, an
we were the
organized
first in the
league.
door.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
the very first season, right? I
yeah.
think I've got to think we were. I
We
don't
had to
know.
have been. We wrote it on that napkin at the Champions League final.
Right.
We
Yeah,
would
I'd
have
like to
been.
go back.
Yeah.
No, we would have been, I think, because we're again, our noses were well in the
Yes.
soccer culture at the time. So it's like I don't know how they disseminated that information about they're starting up a league, but and then I mean, is part of your turn off like you talked about playing time, but is it also just the establishment of
Yeah.
CFRS?
I wish they'd build another one right next door. I just don't like the way they every season I see an email from Yusuf or whoever and it says, oh, they've gone up another $300 or and those other dark ages when I'd get quite vocal about it 3, 4 years ago, even though I wasn't playing, when they're saying, oh, they've put us in another league or they've
Yeah,
let them get away with murder. They can play who they want. This other teams like Wana, I'm just like, what are you boys doing? Just fucking leave.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was sick of hearing it because
I,
it's just every single season we get screwed.
yeah.
And I'm just, what are we paying for? What are you doing?
Well, you're
But it
paying
was the
for a
only game in town.
yeah, no,
They can
it's
charge
true.
what they want. Here's our
And
bad refs. I think things have got
after
better. Has it got better?
it seems like this new administration seems to
Right.
be a little bit more on top of things and a little bit
Good.
more actionable. But a lot of it too is like it just became tradition for us.
Yes, I
Especially
know.
during the sidekicks days. It's like we need a Friday night league. That is our week
I know.
cap, and we go out and we enjoy ourselves and like um yeah, so it just became ingrained in who we are. We're Friday night over 30s team.
I know.
I mean,
That's
maybe
yeah.
over 30s actually started pretty soon. It's maybe like the third year,
Yeah.
second or third year. So, but
Yeah, we caught on quick. No, but yeah, that's where I feel I should have shown up more. When you
no,
start
no,
saying things like that, that's when I think, that's the good side. And like if someone did like the other day, someone hit Tom or Mike, someone hit Mike, right? In a game.
yeah, right,
Tom
right,
jumps
right.
in like I I want to be there for that. I don't like being far away.
Yeah. Well, can you imagine if instead of going to sidekicks after the games, we went to a dance club? Then you would have been
Yes,
there
I would have done.
every
Yeah, just
weekend.
don't give me a microphone.
Yeah.
It's
And
terrible.
you were also a new parent right around that same time. I've
I
got to think,
know, and I was living
It,
downtown. That was the killer as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was so far
No,
away.
I think sometimes it's like you say you might, I feel bad about, but it's like look at all the factors, and it was the
Yeah,
decision that made so much sense.
not all of us are as lucky as Rafa to have people on hand to look after their kid at any given point.
I mean,
But
Rafa's location is pretty sweet too.
yeah,
So
I
I
know.
always thought mine was sweet, and then I'm like, man, Rafa with
He's doing
helping hand.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
I can never argue about the location of the pitch though. It's
I know. And now I'm back up here. I've got to get up there.
when's the last time you did a Joel meetup?
Good. We were going to do it this summer, weren't we? And then everyone got injured. I,
Yeah, there was
I,
speak of it.
and he's moved it to this chase thing.
I mean, that's great for me. I was telling Anna, I
Yeah,
was like,
fine.
I should bring Richie. There's a playground right there, 5:30, come back
Let's
home. He goes to bed. Like, it's right down Leland for me. So
let's
I'm
fill
gonna try
one.
and make it.
Let's announce it right now on this podcast. Let's pick one, and we'll fill it, and we'll go. It's just
Yeah,
us.
with all the guys who have connection to it, for
Yeah,
sure. I mean, pretty much all of us have it at some point or another.
because Joel
Um,
would love it. He loved it when we showed up last year. He,
no,
he
I
just
know.
makes his.
I don't think he knew that I even have a son. So like, if I brought a
I
son
know.
along, I feel like we might see tears.
Exactly. No,
Joel,
he'd love it.
you're the Godfather. Do you understand?
You've got to get him on this, please.
Oh man, it'll just take the time. I mean, it's gonna happen. Things are
I
just
know.
as you were talking about. September's are so busy.
I
I'm
know.
already earlier this day. It's like I think I slept 5 hours last night. I'm thinking about doing a podcast on a Friday night. Like
I'm sorry.
this is gonna be terrible. Then sure enough, I'm like falling asleep at one point, thinking, what do I ask?
Good job, it's me, and I'll just keep talking about bullshit. It's fine. Yeah.
It's just keep criticizing our front line, and We'll get through it.
No, he's winning trophies now. Max in a pair of sandals wins you a trophy now. I mean, let's do it. Let's go. Boom. Bang. Goal, goal, goal. The dark days are over. Now it's up, up, up. You know?
We just needed to find our right league, you know? No.
Exactly.
No, we look really good out there. I want you to see this this current.
No, I know you
current
do. Because
rendition.
even at any level, you don't just win that league.
Yeah,
You've got to
exactly.
be good.
Yeah,
Because everyone's getting good.
People are like the teamwork is just beautiful.
Right.
It's like people understand each other. And last time I watched, it was the first time I was like, do I fit back into this system? I really had that thought, and we'll see tonight. I don't think I will. I'm gonna just because I take too much risk. Kenny obviously knows because he always sees me try and do the fancy ball up and over the top that works like 25% of the time. There's no room for that anymore on this current squad.
Is that right?
It's efficient. It's efficient.
Well, Kenny will fill in. He'll let you know if you're doing something stupid.
I'm sure he will. But when there's a Mike Kuchek who is kind of the I don't know, maybe the emblematic captain of the team. He doesn't wear the armband, but everyone tries to match his pace and his decision making. Like,
well, that's it. I think when Mike came into the team, I knew I could retire. I think that was when you see Mike, I went, that was me in 2004. I went, right, thank you, good night. There's Mike. God bless.
But you know what's changed though is like Mike is such quality that he was playing on the back line for too long, and we just weren't utilizing his full strengths. And even though he is a master at those positions, and maybe we talked about this, like if he's playing on Dominican, which he played at Dominican, like maybe that's his position. But if he's playing on our team, we can't afford him to play on the back line. We need him in the central. We need him involved in as many plays as possible. Yeah. And I think now that he's taken on that mid position, it's like, it's
he's quality.
Clockwork. Yeah.
And 10 years younger.
Good looking and honest.
Oh, the works. Yeah. That's what I mean. I haven't been able to step back in the field since.
He cooks. I look at Mike.
Stop it.
He's bringing things to Rafa's place where he has to like go to the kitchen and then like do a little bit more prep work in order to make sure it hasn't been sitting in his car. It's very intimidating.
And he's healing half the committee. He's healing people.
Yeah, he has menthol oozing out of his hands.
I know.
Yeah.
We love you too, Tom. I know he's the youngest. He's a sensitive soul.
He got his own podcast. We're just
he did. Yeah, he did.
I want Mike on just so I can find some flaws in his character.
Bon chance. Good luck, as the French would say. Yep.
Oh, look at that. We need a little bit more sprinkles of French in.
Hey, I've already got the best accent. I don't need the other one.
Yeah.
I do well enough.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
There's a
I'm the idiot that moved to America already engaged. I mean, when I had this accent, I mean, what a waste, huh?
Right.
What a couple of years I could have had.
So where do you
condom prices and it would have been amazing.
Could you imagine you, Fabio, and Yusuf? What their
Yusuf's
that because I mean Fabio and Yusuf is a beautiful pairing alone.
Yeah.
But I think you are like
I'm a comedian. I'm not doing their thing. They're just
but if you were, can you imagine that trio? I wouldn't know what to do if I were to run into the three of you. Yeah. You don't know who's serious, who's joking.
I know. It'd be pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Pretty dangerous. Oh, those days. Never got it in America.
Maybe I could go, and then I'm like,
well, back in the Daniel Bernardo years, you in a shirt and a...
Yeah. My like Luke Skywalker boots. He used to have some SAIC vibes,
Well, those are the days.
Jeez.
We never had that, though. We never had that.
No, we really never did. Aside from like Sergio's birthday. Did you?
What happened at Sergio's birthday?
Or you weren't there? That's too bad.
Bryn Mawr. Was this when he was living on Bryn Mawr?
Yeah, the Sheridan house. And then we went out to Turkish belly dancing.
Okay.
And from there, we went to a Birdies or something, a Chirpies, and it's like a lesbian dance club.
Right.
And oh my God, this night was crazy. Terry was
Oh.
there. Terry and I have actually reflected on it not so long ago. But there was
Amazing.
a point or something.
Sergio, if you think you're wrong to even mention me, Fabio, and Yusuf when there's a Sergio. I mean, like, there's just echelons.
Yeah, no, we're thinking about potential like dream guests. I mean, Sergio comes to mind. It's just him and waves behind him. He's on the beach, different time zone. It's 7 a.m.
There's a Skype in Singapore, right? It has to be.
Yeah, I think
He
that's
could do this.
Skype is the international.
I know, it's international, everything.
Yeah. So,
bring him in.
Oh man.
10:08 p.m. in the year of our Lord 2023.
Well, yeah, I better.
You've got to go.
10:34. All right. Well, Jez, I don't actually have a cliffhanger, but a second episode is deserved. Maybe. Ah, man, I'm just thinking about like that 34-minute mark. I was just kind of cloudy. I was like getting a little anxious. No, I'm really hard on myself, Jez. I want to do this to.
I know you do. and we're all begging for Boris to come back. So.
Fuck that guy. No, I'm just. Boris and I are gonna have a reunion show. It's gonna.
Oh, you having a reunion show? Just the two of you?
We haven't talked about it yet, but that's
fine. That'd be cool.
I'm gonna reach out to him and be like, Boris, we just need to talk to each other and make it public, you know.
Yes, bring him back, please.
We're supposed to hang out, Connie, him, Anna, and I, but he's on a motorcycle trip this weekend.
Whoa, let's hear about that.
That's what he does. Yeah, that would be a good episode, you know, like on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no limit to how many good.
There isn't. The characters we have to deploy.
Yeah,
it's just incredible. Great group.
Well, Jez, thank you for this time. We never even got to your jersey. It's a old.
I know.
Old retro.
Yeah, a bit retro. Pre-winning 11. Yeah.
Foster Park Mexican Sunday Morning League.
I remember it. I remember jumping on Pandy and pulling him away from at least 3 Mexicans that were there. I just had to drag him away. I remember. Yeah, great times.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoy your weekend. And
likewise. Good luck tonight.
Get that.
I want to see Tex later. I want to see him.
Yeah, he probably will. Please. You know, I couldn't help but think if I just, you know, run an audible and just go to Sidekicks after this, would there not be a better night than a podcast, a game, and a song? Oh, jeez.
Do it.
If I score like a game-winning goal, there's just going to be too much temptation.
Well, get everyone down there. I want pictures. It's a sad old man, miserable old man at home. You've got to send me pictures, please.
All right, man.
God bless you, Rich.
I better get out. Good thing my bag's packed, and I'll be on the pitch in 25 minutes.
Yes. All right, I'll get ESPN.
Oh, yeah, okay. I got to make sure I save the episode.
Yes.
All right.
God bless you. Peace.
God bless all.
Bye, brother.